All right, guys, so we got to talk about Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, whom city is falling apart, has been destroyed by gang violence and criminals, okay? She's basically letting the criminals run the asylum. And she made some comments in a 4th of July speech following the tragic shooting at the 4th of July parade in Chicago's suburb of Highland Park, in which at least 6 people were killed and 24 others were injured by what appears to be a very, let's just say, Antifa-looking suspect individual. Okay, now, people on the left, the mainstream liberal media is trying to frame him as a Trump supporter. I'm going to wait till more facts and evidence comes out before I make a judgment or really even get into that story, because I think there's a lot more information to uncover before making a judgment about that individual or his motivations or the ideology that he adheres to.
Where we're at this point in the investigation, and some of this is still preliminary, so is subject to change as we keep moving forward. But we do believe Cremo pre-planned this attack for several weeks. He brought a high-powered rifle to this parade. He accessed the roof of a business via a fire escape ladder and began opening fire on the innocent Independence Day celebration goers. The rifle was purchased in Illinois, and the information we have thus far is that it appears to have been purchased legally by Cremo. During the attack, Cremo was dressed in women's clothing, and investigators do believe he did this to conceal his facial tattoos and his identity and help him during the escape with the other people who were fleeing the chaos. During the attack, we believe that Cremo fired more than 70 rounds from this rifle into the crowd of innocent people. Following the attack, Cremo exited the roof, he dropped his rifle, and he blended in with the crowd, and he escaped. He walked to his mother's home, who lived in the area, and he blended right in with everybody else as they were running around, almost as he was an innocent spectator as well. He borrowed his mother's vehicle. We issued an alert yesterday afternoon. Chief Jogman provided the vehicle information and Cremo's information. We're very thankful that an alert member of the community saw Cremo's vehicle traveling southbound on Route 41, dialed 911. An alert North Chicago police officer spotted the vehicle, waited for additional backup units to arrive, conducted a traffic stop, and they were able to safely apprehend Cremo with no injuries to the officers. Inside the vehicle, there was a second rifle located. Indications is that was purchased by Cremo as well. Thus far, over 30 people were injured during the attack, and this does not include the 6 who lost their lives. Right now, Cremo remains in custody at this time. There are no indications that there was anybody else involved in this attack. By all indications, it appears Cremo was acting by himself. The Lake County State's Attorney's Office has been with us from the ground level. They're with us this morning. They were with us through the night. We continue to review the information. Investigators are still developing leads and very critical information. Once we're at a point where we're ready to review all of that information for charges, we will sit down with the state's attorney and review for criminal charges.
But hey, Lori Lightfoot, it was commenting on that situation. And she made some interesting statements, right? She did the thing that Democrats do, is that they pretend like they don't have very irresponsible discourse when it comes to politics, right? And she came out here and said that, hey, we have to get rid of the toxicity in our public discourse. We need to rein it in, right? She decried, okay, the toxicity in the things our politicians are saying to the public. However, she said this statement just 1 week after saying F Clarence Thomas. Take a look.
The toxicity in our public discourse is a thing that I think we should all be concerned about, right? And it's ironic, obviously, that we're having this conversation and what happened on Independence Day. You know, we're not like a lot of other countries where independence, their version of Independence Day is marked with troops and tanks. And no, what we do in the United States is we come together as a community.
If you read Clarence Thomas' concurrence, he said, thank you, fuck Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, again, this shows you how much of a clown show these Democrat politicians are. Just how fake and phony they are, okay, when it comes to stuff. She comes out here a week after saying F Clarence Thomas and says, well, unlike other countries, you know, we as Americans, we come together on Independence Day, you know, and we must decry and stop the toxicity in our public discourse, when this woman has been the poster child of toxic public discourse, okay? Not only did she say F Clarence Thomas in response to Roe v. Wade being overturned, when Roe v. Wade was leaked, she issued a call to arms over Roe v. Wade being overturned, which is funny because her being a lesbian woman, this is not an issue that actually really even affects her, right? I don't even understand why she's so passionate about an issue that she will never, ever, ever have to deal with, okay? But anyways, yeah, that is what she said, okay? Not to mention that this is the same lady that said she had the biggest penis in Chicago. The biggest penis in Chicago. Again, this is a lesbian woman talking about how big her penis is. Talk about toxic lesbianinity, okay? Or lesbianism. I don't know what to call it. But all I know, this is the definition of toxic public discourse. Lori Lightfoot has been one of the biggest perpetrators of that. And I'm sick and tired of these Democrats trying to come out here and lecture people on the things that they do. Okay, I'm sick and tired of it, right? We've literally watched for the last 3 or 4 weeks the left, the Democrats wage an insurrection against this country because of Supreme Court decisions that they don't like, okay? They have literally rioted in the streets, okay? They have tried to intimidate Supreme Court justice. They have burned and bombed pregnancy centers, okay? They have invaded Catholic churches, right? They have attempted to assassinate a Supreme Court justice. They have done all this stuff, but yet they always want to come out here and lecture other people on civility, okay, on nonviolence, right? On how to conduct themselves when you don't get your way. But every time they don't get their way, they're the ones that are using violence. They're the ones that become extremists. I'm sick of it, man. I really am. I'm sick of being lectured by these people that try to act holy and thou, but obviously in front of your face are hypocrites, okay? I don't want to hear anything about civility. I don't want to hear anything about unity. I don't want to hear anything about coming together and singing Kumbaya, because it is clear that that's not what these people want. It's not what these people want at all. But who knows? Lori Lightfoot, maybe after, you know, that incident in her city, maybe she is, you know, realizing that her rhetoric hasn't been great, right? Maybe it's the polls. Maybe it's something that, you know, has clicked in her head that made her realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I should start changing my rhetoric, right? Maybe I should change my rhetoric, okay? Maybe I have been a little bit too toxic in my own public discourse. I hope that's the case. However, I don't think so, okay? I think she's coming out here and saying what she thinks she needs to say in light of that tragedy. It's just, I don't really want to hear it because the hypocrisy and the cognitive dissonance is really off the charts. It really is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.